India, going digital has now become a way of life. If we pause for a moment and think about a time just a decade ago, this idea, the ease with which we now go about our tasks digitally, or the technology that would enable us to achieve this feat were all a very distant reality. But all that changed on this day, exactly 6 years ago, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the Digital India program. That day, not only did we begin scripting the new Indian story, we made sure that every single one of the 140 crore Indians became a part of it. Namaskar and welcome to New India Junction. I am Richa Dwivedi, and on the Digital India Day, we look at what it means 6 years on. First, let me start you off with some numbers. As of today, India is ranked number 1 when we talk of digital payment transactions across the world in 2020. Why is that, you ask? UPI payments, sure, but number 1? Well, for the skeptic inside you, India and Indians completed 427.21 crore transactions worth a whopping rupees 172.81 lakh crore in March 2021. A stellar number 1 performance, if you ask me. The transaction volume has also increased over 5-fold, from just over rupees 1,000 crore in financial year 2016-17 to well over 5,400 crore in financial year 2019-20. Given the COVID-19 pandemic in the country, digital payments have today become a necessary precaution. But it was only through the sustained efforts for the sector's digitization that most of us now use it as our preferred mode for financial transaction, pandemic or otherwise. Just yesterday, when we went out for a quick break, we realized the massive extent of this wonderful initiative. But you may feel that India's digitization drive and the flagship Digital India initiative is all an urban-centric program. Well, you may have never been so wrong before. Through common service centers, over 300 government services, from getting your Aadhaar card to paying your utility bills and everything in between, is made available at the grassroots level. And yes, that is done digitally. From just over 83,950 CSCs in 2014, we now have over 370,000 centers focused on taking this digital revolution to those who need it the most. Which brings us to another important statistic. One thing that you, me, our friends, and all the other people in our lives have today is a unique identity, which is also identifiable digitally. Any guesses? I'm sure we are all wonderful human beings, but that isn't what I'm getting at. What I meant was the Aadhaar card. Today, 129 crore Indian citizens have received their Aadhaar cards under the world's largest digital identity program. Crunching some rough numbers, that makes up for over 16% of the entire population of our planet. And if you think that isn't enough, let me remind you that a significant number of these Aadhaar cards form one of the most important pillars for the Digital India program, the JAM Trinity. Through a combination of Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile, financial inclusion and with that financial literacy has soared across India. Think of the farmers in India's rural areas, particularly those with small or marginal land holdings. Those that receive a direct payment through the PM Kisan scheme, for example. These farmers, numbering over 10.36 crore, do you think they would have received these payments directly into their bank accounts without a program like Digital India? Take nothing away from eNam, the electronic national agriculture market that provides a digital marketplace to over 1.7 crore Indian farmers for their produce. Which brings us to another important story, another world's largest. This time it's healthcare, albeit with a small jab included. Yes, I'm talking about the world's largest vaccination drive, currently underway in India. If I were to take you to 2011, can you even imagine the possibility of simply booking a slot for yourself and others too, and getting a vaccine anywhere in the country, that too absolutely free? No, right? But today, this has been a reality for over 32.7 crore people. Frankly, the entire process, simplified down to just 3 to 4 steps, is a major reason why we recently overtook even developed countries like the USA when it came to vaccinations. All one has to do is simply log into the CoWIN portal, register using their mobile phone and a photo ID, schedule a visit to the nearest center, and voila, the phone rings. Next step, mask up, head over to the center at the allotted time, receive the vaccine shot, wait for the mandated time, and just like that, you are able to reinforce your safety net against a global pandemic. But hang on, what do I have to show for? Oh, that's right, your vaccine certificate is then digitally shared with you. Just to be doubly sure, remember to check the Arogya Setu app for information regarding any possible infectious contacts. And there, all done. Repeat this a second time on the due date and you'll be vaccinated completely. With close to 35 crore registrations, the CoWIN portal has enabled a hassle-free and streamlined process. One of the major reasons, because it's digital. Today, around 20 countries have noted this and are looking to emulate this platform. 6 years from its official launch, Digital India has become synonymous with development. It has become the hallmark of a government dedicated for the welfare of its people. But even when fintech, healthcare, and DPTs are some key highlights, Digital India has actually revolutionized how India functions, be it governance, startups, education, manufacturing, or procurement. From playing catch-up for the better part of the century, India has now become a trendsetter, a pioneer, and most importantly, a success model.